all Grey Wardens this irritating?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Hey, look at me. I'm an
Same
elf.
thing again.
Trees are pretty. Tra-la-la.
You're such a fucking racist. Say that as
I get that he's trying to be mean to that one girl, but, like, I'm right here.
Elf.
the only thing he
Trees
says.
are... Hey, look
That's
at
funny,
me.
I don't remember
I'm an
Ogden being
elf.
racist in
Trees are
Origins.
pretty. Tra-la-la.
I think I just stepped in mud.
Character development.
He's racist now?
Yep.
On that note.
The last thing that you needed to do was, go find Inez the botanist.
That dirt digger.
That's not what I thought you said for a moment. I was gonna be like, holy shit! You called her a what?
That's out of character.
Welcome back to DPAG. In the interim between episode recordings, Spoop turned into a
Spoop's
racist.
racist now.
Much like Ogren.
Yeah.
Character development, he's a racist now. Okay, so before anything...
Tell me about Atomic Blonde. I heard you saw it.
No, before
with
even
me.
that.
Oh.
No, before anything. We often say, hey, like, comment, and subscribe.
And nobody does.
And nobody does. But actually, we have a person who likes most of our videos of you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Comments not infrequently on our videos, you and me.
Really?
And is a subscriber. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Robert Bennetts. Thank you so much for
Oh my gosh.
enjoying our content.
Thank
Even though
you.
your comments aren't actually answers to what we say comment about, but they
That's
are,
alright.
they're not just like, hey, why don't you check out my Instagram, which is all the other spam comments I get. Your comments are real. You're a real dude.
What is...
Shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
I'm glad you appreciate our content. If we ever make DPAG swag, I will ship you one of everything for free. If you provide me with your mailing address. But not now, because that would be weird. Because there is no DPAG swag.
Anything.
And
yeah.
if there is never DPAG swag, then just know that you hold a special place in my heart. Mr. Bennett.
Okay.
Anyway, so, I saw Atomic Blonde.
Yeah,
You also saw Atomic
I
Blonde.
did.
Thoughts? What were your thoughts on Atomic Blonde?
It was fucking amazing.
I'm nodding vigorously. I know you guys can't see it, but...
It was real good. It invented the soundtrack,
Right?
which is
I can't believe it.
incredible.
Never had a soundtrack before.
Yeah.
And then Atomic Blonde came out.
Yeah.
Now every movie has a soundtrack.
Not every movie has a soundtrack. Amazing.
What I would like to say by way of comparison is that, so I saw Baby Driver on Wednesday, and then on Saturday I saw Atomic Blonde. Atomic Blonde, all I knew about was, Charlize Theron kicks ass and makes out with Sophia Boutella. That's all I knew.
That's all you need to know.
And, for Baby Driver, all I knew was that apparently the soundtrack was fucking amazing, and the choreography related to the soundtrack was very good. Mm-hmm. So, I saw Baby Driver on Wednesday. It wasn't bad, like, I enjoyed the experience, but it's after I left it, I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to see that again. Like,
Right.
I could live my whole life never seeing it again and not miss anything.
Right.
Like, the performances were some very good, most okay, one in particular completely unbelievable, but Jamie Foxx can't win every time. You were great in Django.
What
The
if he
soundtrack-
could? What if Jamie Foxx could win every time?
I'd be happy for him. The soundtrack, even the songs that I had never heard before, I was never like, damn, this song's a jammer, I should get the score / soundtrack. The score itself was pretty bare bones as far as I'm concerned. The car choreography, or the car chases were genuinely extremely impressive, and the choreography as it related to the music was very well done.
Oh, I have another comment about Atomic Blonde, but my thoughts on it in particular. But do
but-
you think?
But, so those are my thoughts on Baby Driver. After I finished seeing Atomic Blonde, all I could think was, how come you can dismantle glyphs of paralysis? That's all I could think. That's all I could think.
I know, right? Like, what the hell?
After I saw Atomic Blonde, all I could think was, this is basically what I expected Baby Driver to be, in terms of how killer the soundtrack was, how awesome the main character's performance was, and how pumped up it made me feel.
And
like, after Baby Driver, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll drive a little aggressively. But after Atomic Blonde, I was like, I want to dropkick the first person I see, and I want to do it in style with some 80s new wave.
The fight choreography was incredible.
It's, right, especially, there's this one scene in the movie. Oh, also, by the way, there will be Atomic Blonde spoilers, just FYI.
Oh,
there aren't any yet.
Let's do a skip thing. Let's just say, right here, just get out of here.
There's gonna be Atomic Blonde spoilers in this episode.
Go.
Watch the next one if you haven't seen it and you want to.
Can we skip to a point?
Or skip to this timestamp if we don't spend the whole episode talking about it.
There you go.
Okay, thanks. Anyway. What was I saying?
This is one fight scene.
Right.
I'm
so
assuming
there's
the one with
the entire
I
movie
don't
builds
know.
up to this one scene where there's this. It's like a 7-minute. It's not really an unbroken shot. Like if you know about unbroken shots and how they're filmed, like you can tell where the trick is, where they cut, where they can cut to a
where the
different
breaks
take. But it's filmed in such a way that it is made up of several long takes, and it's filmed in such a way that it appears to be like a 7-minute long shot, like at least. And it's like this really long, increasingly like desperate, like
Violent brawl.
like can barely move. Both of the fighters are like swinging at each other, like the end of Metal Gear Solid 4
Incredible.
fight scene.
Oh yeah, it
and
really is.
then it like half of a car chase, and it's just so like that's effectively like the climax of the movie,
Right.
And everything, it's just so like everything building up to that, and then the fight, and then
there's a puzzle happening.
oh fuck, and then the falling action after that. It was all just so, like, the plot was nothing surprising. Like, that's fine. It's a Cold War era spy movie. What more do you want? But it all just flowed so well, and everybody's performances were so solid, in particular Charlize Theron, who did, like, as far as I know, all her own stunts.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
so
the
good.
ticket guy told
Right?
us.
So good.
I believe him.
Swooning! Do you want to look up this puzzle, if you can't figure it out?
I'm just gonna randomly hit buttons.
I mean, it
seems
looks like
to be
it's kinda
working
working.
pretty well.
So your thoughts, and then we'll get to, like, the thing that people are upset about.
I just, like, it was
Just such a fucking
it was
good movie.
just really solidly good. Like, it wasn't an unexpected movie, and, like, the plot, it's really just Charlize Theron. Like, I don't know who did the costuming, but the costuming was incredible. That's something I noticed. Like, even, like, James McAvoy, who I cared very little about in this movie, no offense to him, but, like, he was the least interesting part of it. Like, even his wardrobe was, like, really good for what it was, like, supposed to be, you know? And just, I don't know, the costuming was amazing. Charlize Theron looked incredible the whole time, obviously, of course. Duh. And
Activate the one at the very end, right? Yeah, the one you just turned on. Yeah, that. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I don't know, just, that was really good. The costume was really good. The fights were just, to me, like, I don't know that much about all that. The soundtrack was, like, I don't know, I'm easy. David Bowie, 80s pop, like, of course I'm gonna love it.
Well,
like,
I don't usually, I have a lot of music, and I do pay for music on a not a regular basis, haha.
Right.
But
So do I.
But the last movie that I got home, you were there. I got home and I immediately bought the soundtrack and the biggest movie poster I could find.
Yeah.
The last movie I immediately went out and bought the score for was Arrival, and I can't remember the last movie I went out and bought the score for before that.
Yeah, I don't. It was just...
The score or the soundtrack. It was probably Hannah. The last movie I can remember buying the score for immediately after I saw the movie was
and
Hannah.
the sex scene was a little male gazy, but, like, I also enjoyed it. I was like, nice.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a really solidly good movie. I told people who I have, like, our tour opinions about films, I was like, I mean, yeah, go see it. Like, it's worth
Interesting.
seeing.
They might all hate you.
Oh, I said I liked it, you know. I explained that it wasn't, like, twists and turns of
Right,
plots.
there was one twist that I didn't expect, and that's the only one.
Yeah, like...
Which was a good twist. I'm not opposed.
I don't know what the fuck... Okay, it's just these, like, two over and over again, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong.
Alright. Let's look up the solution, because I don't have time to deal with that shit.
There's just this one I can hit.
We'll be right back.
I should feel today.
But I have to, like,
Yeah, you have to undo it.
undo...
So while you're undoing it,
Talk to me.
so no spoilers up until now, but now is when spoilers begin. So skip to this timestamp or the next episode, depending on what it says on screen.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be spoiled for Atomic Blonde. So, the thing everyone's pissed off about.
The thing everyone's pissed off
Sophia
about.
Boutella's character, whose name I don't remember. She's French.
Delphine.
Yes. Gets pretty brutally garroted by James McAvoy's character.
Sort of.
Um,
In as much as Hollywood ever does.
now,
Garrots.
my
Where did I fucking start with this? Mother of God.
When I was, it should show right here. So it started at the end, like on a top edge somewhere, there,
Okay.
presumably. Okay. What was I saying? So when I was watching the movie, as she was, I obviously I really wanted her to survive. Like, I was upset that she died because I liked her character and I wanted her and Charlize Theron to move away and be happily ever after. Like, that's why it upset me. But at no point during the scene, or during her murder, did I think this is exploitative, or did I feel manipulated as in the, bury your gays trope.
What the hell?
A lot of people are upset, not only that she was, murdered, because bury your gays is a thing, kill the lesbian.
What have I goddamn done?
Is there, like, a reset anywhere? You think?
I just don't know what I've done.
But my main beefs with that scene were her character reasonably knew that James McAvoy's character was coming to kill her, and yet she was wearing headphones in that scene, so she couldn't hear him come in. Like, realistically, she wouldn't have been doing that. The only justification I can think of for her doing that is they do say constantly throughout the movie, like, she's a shitty spy, she's bad at it, she doesn't know what she's doing. So, I mean, you can justify it as her just,
Being a shitty spy.
Being a shitty spy, and I can live with that. I did already, like, as soon as she died, I was like, headcanon, as soon as it cut away, she CPR'd her to life.
Well, to be
Because she
fair,
didn't even try to give her CPR.
they
She was unconscious for, like,
also,
10 seconds.
Yeah, barely, killed her.
Especially because the rest of the movie has been so brutal in showing Charlize Theron's actual physical injuries. Like, she's got bruises and her knuckles are all cut up.
Do it long enough for her to die.
Right, because there was no gore, my thinking was, oh, she's not dead. Because I expected, like, if she was getting garroted to death, I expected there to be, like, congratulations.
They did it for, like, 5 goddamn seconds.
I expected there to be, like, blood vessels exploding, or it cuts into her neck, something. And because there was no gore, that's the part I'm a little less like, oh, she has to be a pretty corpse, like, that's not great.
Yeah.
But what it did for me was that it confused me as a viewer, because it was so out of line with the gore shown in the movie up to that point that I genuinely thought she was alive, and then when it was absolutely confirmed that she wasn't, I was honestly pretty bummed out.
It didn't make sense, she wasn't.
Right, I was pretty bummed out, but not in a, oh, of course they killed the lesbian kind of way, just because I would have liked for Charlize Theron's character to go, or for her to survive.
The thing is, they killed everybody.
Yeah,
It wasn't like they just...
I'm not saying that it's unreasonable to be upset that they killed the only non-white, gay, lesbian main character.
Sure.
But don't let that take away from the fact that Charlize Theron's character, who is confirmed as a queer woman in the movie, did survive. Mm-hmm. And I don't...
Spies aren't real queers.
I didn't see...
I think one of the people who
is upset about it.
Is upset about it.
Lesbians aren't considered queer.
Well, spies aren't real.
Oh, right, of course, right. Bisexuals aren't real. We
we
know this to be true.
Lesbians are the only,
we know this to be true. Bisexuals are fake.
Solid gays. Solid stone, solid
Cryptids.
butch gay.
Cryptids. Straight beans. Bisexuals are just straight beans. But, I, much like everybody who saw the movie, it seems, did not know it was based on a graphic novel, and I have not read the graphic novel. Because if I had, I would have known that character dies. Right. But if I had, I would have also known that character in the graphic novel, I looked it up, is a man. Yeah. So honestly, I'm gonna give them points for not only making that character a woman to give us a queer main character, but also that they refused to patronize me by making her survive just to avoid the bury your gays trope. Like, I wouldn't have been upset if they had kept her alive because I like a happy ending, but that that apparently they didn't even consider it an option. Honestly, I think that is... I would say that speaks of not wanting to compromise the plot of the original novel, but also B, I don't know, I feel like I would feel a little bit, if I found out that the male character dies, the character that this is an XP of, I probably would have felt a little patronized, like, oh, so they kept her alive so people wouldn't get upset that they killed the lesbian, which is, again, like, this is a two-sided thing. It's okay to be upset, it makes sense that you are. If you weren't expecting it, I can understand that it would be extremely upsetting to watch a partially disrobed, non-white lesbian character get garroted on screen with a lingering shot. I get that that's upsetting. I do. I thought it was, but I didn't feel like it was exploitative. I felt like it was brutal on purpose because it's showing you the brutality of the situation that they're in. Mostly I was upset that she had headphones on because she got killed for it. Don't wear headphones ever.
You wear headphones all the goddamn time.
Well, looks like I deserve to get murdered.
There you go.
Here's my
You
address.
are a POC lesbian, so...
I mean, you're not wrong. So I check. Me as Sophia Boutella' character. Don't want to make assumptions about her sexuality.
Yeah, I don't... Oh god, who is this?
Who am I killing? The old one!
I'm killing the old one.
Whoops. There goes Cthulhu.
Whoopsie doodle. Was that
My
the
bad.
guy who was, like, nice to me in the first... Well, that's on him.
No, that's the Grand Oak, I think. Maybe this is like his dad or his son, his relative. Because it is the same model, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, in conclusion, I would say I, as a POC lesbian, was not upset by the scene. I was bummed out that she died, but just because I liked her character, not in a, like, they killed a lesbian again.
I'm a white bi, so my opinion doesn't count.
Of course, you're not real. We've talked about this. But I thought it was fantastic. As soon as I left, I could not wait to see it again. I bought the soundtrack immediately. I bought a poster immediately. I looked for like 40 minutes to find an official licensed t-shirt, and there aren't any, so I'm just gonna buy a bunch off of Redbubble.
Fuck. Is this the end of the map and it's tricking
or
me?
Society
That's what's
6.
happening.
Yeah. You'll
Damn
have to
it.
pull up the actual map and look for the X's or whatever.
No, none of my, like... It's all like, find weird bullshit.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh...
Yeah. Dumb.
God.
That sucks. Well, you're almost there.
I'm almost got this one.
But if you haven't seen the movie and you didn't skip to past the spoilers, and now that you know what's coming, you want to watch the rest of the movie, all of which is absolutely fantastic, do it. And if you like me choose to believe that because it was so out of sync with the rest of the movie's portrayal of death that Sophia Boutella's character lived and is just in hiding, I'm sure there's a fix-it fic on its way.
Soon.
I won't be writing it because I don't have time, but I'm sure someone somewhere will write, even if it's like a one chapter, like, and then she showed up in the United States.
I just feel like tonally with the movie it made sense.
Right, it wasn't, like you were saying, it's a spy movie set in the Cold War.
Everybody,
Many people
it wasn't
die.
just her.
Right, like James McAvoy's character fucking ate it, a bunch of her package quote unquote died, a bunch of the enemies died, like... it wasn't out of sync with the rest of the movie, except in the fact that it was a bloodless death, which I can understand that part, not great.
I think people would have been more upset if it hadn't been, though.
People are going to be upset either way. I feel like this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Honestly, the main reason I'm annoyed with it is just because it probably unintentionally tricked me into thinking she was alive still.
Yeah, I think they needed to strangle her longer.
Right. She literally, she was out of breath for like,
Here's the
maybe
thing.
10 seconds.
For me to be happy with it, they would have had to have, like, 5 more minutes of, like, lingering shot on her
we
being
know too much
choked.
about how hard it is to be choked to death, I guess.
On her being choked. And, like, people would have been like, they lingered on choking her for 5 minutes. Like, how inappropriate. And I would have been like, yeah.
Either way, you're fucked.
So
I thought it was fucking great. I'm gonna see it as soon as it's in the dollar theater, probably 100,000 more times. When it's on Blu-ray, I'm gonna watch it every day until I die.
I get why they did make her death like, oh god, this statue's fucking talking to me.
Is it? Oh shit. Oh, and Avar. I forgot there were Avars in this. They show up in Inquisition.
The goddamn statue is fucking talking. I don't need another goddamn quest!
You're cursed. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, really?
They've been gone for centuries. Avar are in Inquisition, David Gator.
Like, TBH.
I mean... 2 or 3, I think.
2? Okay. I was thinking 1, to be honest, but... I mean, except for... Cool. To Deventer Mages.
Of course that Deventer are responsible, of course.
If I free it and it's a demon, which I don't think it is, because this is Origins and there's weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
If this were in 2, I'd be like, demon.
Oh, yeah.
Demon. But,
So...
I'll free it, and if it's a demon, I'll fight the demon.
Yeah, you'll kill it.
Whatever.
So, any final thoughts on your end for Atomic Blonde?
I really enjoyed it,
Go see it.
but as we all know, I'm a straight being and white, so my opinion,
I value your opinion.
negligible.
Sometimes.
Don't lie to me. But you value your own opinion, so sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Well, we liked it.
Yeah. If you, I mean, if that's gonna trigger you, either avoid that scene or I guess don't see the movie.
Yeah.
But
It's a good spy
I feel
movie.
like-
Everyone gets murdered.
I feel like
What do you fucking want?
I want to support more women-led action movies, and so I'm gonna see it about 100 more times. All right, that's it. I think that's all we have to say about Atomic Blonde.
I guess. I'm irritated by Tumblr. That's really my story.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You look like
Goodbye,
a revenant.
Corypheus.
Hello?
Did you want to? I'm just curious about what about Tumblr is giving you anxiety.
Oh, just like the fact any sort of drama is
Just
making
all the
me
discourse?
uncomfortable, and that's all Tumblr is.
Yeah.
Like, I reblogged that thing that I thought was really well, like,
Written.
written and concise, and then someone who I, like, really respect, like, reblogged it with, like, a rebuttal, and I was like, I fucking can't, I can't do this, like...
That's fair. I feel like... Is this sword broken, or do you have a tiny knife?
Tiny
Anyway,
knife.
I mean, I don't know. Tiny enough to match his tiny anyway. Oh, a Danish man. Cool. Maybe he came in a flutemosquito. That's the only Danish word I can remember on command, and it means airplane.
Well, algorithm approved.
I can remember others if I think about them because of
Thanks for the stuff.
because of my fucking Duolingo app teaching me a language. Anyway, what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh, just I think you get a lot more discourse on your Tumblr than I do, because you follow a lot more discoursey people than I do.
I just follow Lord Kitchener, and that's like...
Lord Kitchener is pretty discoursey.
is pretty goddamn discourse.
Which, you know, fine, I'm not gonna tell other people how to run their blogs.
And then, like, the person who I... Like, both of those people, the person who I reblogged it from, the person who I who reblogged it with the rebuttal, are not, like, discoursey people, but there are people who will write
Felt very
out
strongly about it.
their opinions on these
Which is
things.
fine,
But they're
like,
not
that's
like they're not like Lord Kitchener, who's like hunting down the discourse.
Shitster supreme.
Who I enjoy following,
You do you.
despite the fact that we don't always agree on things.
At least that one time you called her out on the thing, she was like, I don't know if you changed her opinion, but she did stop posting about it.
I doubt I did, but like, I don't know. I just think it's worth knowing that there are gray areas and you don't have to agree with everything.
I agree. I actually often say to people, well,
a single person says.
not often anymore because I don't speak or leave the house, but
Good call.
I have said to people on a not irregular basis, and I would maintain that this is still accurate, that it does you no good. Interesting. It does you no good to deliberately surround yourself only with people you agree with. Like, I'm not saying that you have to, not cut Trump supporters out of your life if that's what you want to do. Like, that's totally fine, and I am absolutely
I didn't earn
not.
some goddamn trophy. Not sure what it was.
Interesting. I'm not... Like, if that's what you feel like you need to do, that's totally legit, because they voted for somebody who, chances are, hates everything that you represent. But all I'm saying is, if you deliberately encircle yourself in an echo chamber, nobody ever learns anything. Part of life is changing your opinions on stuff and who you are, or even just acknowledging that maybe you don't know everything.
Yeah.
So again, Trump supporter wasn't really the right place to go with that, because fuck those people.
Yeah.
But I'll say more generally, like, for example, I think people can tend to be extremely close-minded about all the hot-button issues. Immigration, refugees, guns, sexuality. Like, those four things in particular, I would want to say, hell yeah. Those four things in particular, I want to say, get a lot of...
Well, yeah,
And I understand that they are issues that you feel strongly about, and you have every right and every reason to feel strongly about those things, but... listening only to the news sources you agree with and surrounding yourself only with people who agree with you means that you might not be aware, from either side, either pro or anti-gun support, you might not be aware that the facts that you are relying on are not, they're wrong. They're, like, incorrectly quoted statistics. They are an opinion that somebody quoted as fact that everybody else is misquoting. Like, it's important to surround yourself with stuff that you might not surround yourself. It's important to keep abreast of things that you might not necessarily agree with, because maybe you'll learn something and you'll
Right.
change your opinion, or maybe you'll come across somebody else who is stuck in an echo chamber and you can be a bright light of facts toward them.
What a fucking serious episode. There's this really good This American Life that just came out, and it was about immigration. There's this guy who, like, he was like, I'm gonna go into this with an open mind, and, like, he tried to, like, look up all these sources and look up all these facts, blah, 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 and just, it didn't quite, like, who's calling me?
No one you know.
It didn't, I mean, he leaned towards the right, and he accidentally got a bunch of right-wing sources, but then he was talking to This American Life, and he was like, I would love if you could fact-check me on this and prove me wrong, because I don't want to feel this way about people. I don't want to be scared of, like, it was an immigration thing. He was like, I don't want to be scared of people like this. I want to believe the best in people. And I'm over here, because he's getting, like, fucking Breitbart sources, like, being like, every single thing is gonna be wrong. None of this horrible shit, like, in Europe is going to have happened. But, like, half of it did. And, like, I'm over here being
People are
like,
fucked up.
like, oh, maybe I need to keep an open mind. Like,
Right.
I'm, you know, like, I'm still not anti-immigration, but I was just like, see, here's me being like, of course, all of this bad shit is gonna be fake, and it's not. Things are complicated.
No issue is black and white. Literally everything is shades of gray.
Fucking Templars.
How many
versus-
shades of gray I won't say. But literally everything.
Actually, 72.
Shades of gray.
I bet you didn't expect that.
Ooh.
72 shades of gray.
Swerved.
72.
Swerved.
But yeah, no, like, Templars versus mages, like, it's all complicated.
Real issues, fake issues. Nothing is simple. Nothing is black and white.
It's all
Except
DA2. None of it's...
one issue, black and white. One. Can you tell me what it is?
Rape is bad?
Yes. Not where I was going to go with it, but I will accept that, because if I say no, that implies it's
What
not.
were you gonna say?
I was going to say, Donald Trump is a fuckface who deserves never to experience another day of joy.
There's overlap in between those.
There is.
So.
Rape is bad, though, 100% of the time. Let's go with yours.
Yeah, I liked it.
There is no time that's good. Man, this is the episode where it got real.
I hate it.
This episode's called Discourse,
And
so you
I'm
can just
fucking lost.
go ahead and skip it.
Not only... What's that?
Bye.
I'm just at this point.
Can you traverse? This isn't Inquisition. I think you have to go around.
Looks that way.
Ugh.
I see, I'm at this point where I'm just sort of wandering around for all the little crevasses I've missed.
Oh, I thought you were, like, going into a metaphor.
No.
I didn't realize you were being literal.
I mean...
I mean,
no.
while we're on the discourse topic,
I
any other
don't.
discoursey points you'd like
I hear
to...
you're on your monthly discourse.
I am on the monthly discourse.
That's a pretty fun name for a period, all you ladies.
I don't think I have any
I made it up.
monthly discourse or
You can have it.
other discourse.
Because it makes you want to discourse. I mean, depending on your kind of discourse.
Yeah.
My monthly discourse makes me want to curl up into a ball and scream for 3 days, and then bleed for another 4, but,
Mine's very irregular. I don't know what's going on.
bummer. Your discourse and your monthly discourse. Any other discourse points you'd want to talk about? I'm just saying, broaden your horizons. That's all I have to say.
No?
I'm not saying you have to go find your homophobic, Trump-supporting
you can go
dad and
talk
tell
to
him you
these
love him.
people and disagree with them. I think it's just worth...
I think the important thing is to disagree with your words,
Yeah.
not with your fists.
I think it helps everybody. Frankly, it might strengthen your opinion if you discuss it with someone who is a reasonable human being who disagrees with you.
Right? Nobody scream. Nobody punch. I understand that you will get very heated about your opinion that all Mexicans are bad and you hate them. I understand that you feel strongly about that. But please understand that I disagree, and when I'm disagreeing, I'm not raising my voice, so I would appreciate if you didn't scream either.
Dudes.
That's all I want to say.
Dad.
My dad doesn't hate Mexicans, he married a Latin American, but he is probably a little bit of a racist, and definitely not a super great person, considering he voted for Trump.
Maybe he doesn't hate Brazilians, but for whatever reason, he does hate Mexicans. That would be wacky.
I mean,
Maybe wacky
at
is
least
not
he
the
knows,
correct term.
at least he, unlike apparently a majority of the people I talk to, are aware of the difference. Like, guess what, guys? The official language of Brazil, it's not Spanish. And I hate you.
Spanishese.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like Spanglish, but
That makes sense.
Spanish Portuguese. There are a lot of Spanish speakers in Brazil, because
languages
guess
are
what?
super
Every other
interesting.
country on that continent is Spanish speaking.
Makes
Like,
sense.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to fun facts. Did you know? Sao Paulo, Japan, largest expatriate population of ethnically Japanese people in the world.
Sao Paulo, Japan?
If that's what I said,
I think it is.
I'm running with it. What I meant to say was Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, is there a place in Japan named Sao Paulo? Like,
Yes, and it's its own country, which is why it's the largest expatriate
well,
population.
I thought you were gonna say, like, expatriate of, like, Brazilians, and they'd just, like, gone to Japan and, like, this is
I mean, it's almost as weird the other way around, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So. That's that, I think. I think that's the end of the discourse, right?
God, can it be?
And the end of the episode. So, sorry for the extremely heavy episode.
I
Robert
hated
Bennett,
it.
love you.
Hated it. Oh, yeah, hey, thanks.
Sorry
about that.
the fact that you got shouted out in the discourse episode. You might
sorry.
You might never even
Come back.
hear this because you saw the episode was called something discoursey and you decided not to bother.
Which is totally fair.
Anyway, thanks for hanging around.
Yeah,
even if it ended today.
Thanks, everybody.
And everyone else,
Guest.
like, comment, and subscribe. But not on this episode because we don't have time for discourse.
Fuck this episode.
Bye!
Edit that episode out.